What's up, everyone? My name is Jordan Poole, aka DJ Royale. We are here at Stratus Lounge above the Hotel Monaco in Old City, Philadelphia. I am sitting with good friend Keegan, and Keegan is a man of many talents and skills. I only met Keegan back in this previous fall through a mutual friends gathering. I think it was through our friend Luna with House of Intrigue. And you definitely dropped a few gem of stories on us and also shared some music with us. As I said, Keegan is multi-talented. He's a programmer by day. He's a songwriter, an engineer, a saxophonist. Man has competed in national karate, if not global karate competitions, if I'm correct. You like kind of organize D&D get-togethers. What don't you do? Like, I don't even know when you have time to sleep. You know what I mean?
I don't sleep well, so not much of that.
Yeah, and not only do you do all of these creative things, but you do them at an optimum level. And I'm always impressed, inspired with people who are able to kind of juggle it all in the crazy world that we live in. So, on that note, like, why is Philadelphia an ideal place for you to live and work and play?
I think Philadelphia is a really cool spot from a musical standpoint. As a music scene, Philadelphia is really communally oriented, I think. You have all sorts of different musicians from different genres and backgrounds who tend to support each other really well. Mm-hmm. A lot of musicians are really willing to work with and for other musicians. So I see a lot of people who are willing to do backup and backline for their friends who also have their own solo projects, and then those friends in turn would do backup and backline for them. People love to feature each other and work together in the studio. And I think that's really cool. Like, I've been a part of a few different music scenes and kind of glimpsed into a few different music scenes, you know, around the East Coast. And Philly has a good sense of competition, which is healthy, I think, but it's not too much. Like, there's definitely a community emphasis, mm-hmm. Which is nice. And it's a little smaller than a lot of other scenes like New York, so it's really easy to get your roots out and kind of meet everyone and figure out who's doing what. But also, I think Philly is, as a music scene, kind of on this upswing right now. There's a lot of people moving to the city from New York because the cost of living is so much lower. I think the music scene is rapidly expanding, and so is like the art scene and the dance scene. And I think it's a really good time to be an artist on the upswing in Philly, because Philly itself is kind of on an upward trajectory.
I'm with you on that. I definitely feel that. So what are some of the projects you're currently working on? I've seen you know, you're talking about working with different musicians and creatives in various scenes, and I've seen you put out, you know, projects that are obviously more maybe dance, techno, house, electronic oriented. I've seen you put out projects that are more now R&B, hip hop focused. Like, are you planning to kind of continue to work in multiple realms, or what should we be listening for from you right now?
Right, so I'm kind of wrapping up a 6-month sprint. I've been trying to fire out a release once a month. Most of the songs have been pretty finished for a long time, but I'm kind of trying to keep up a pace of release for a little while right now. Recently, I did a piece with Rachel Andy, who has a band called the V Element, and they're really awesome. And me and Rachel are beginning the groundwork for our next project, which who knows when it'll be done, but it's a longer format release that we're both really excited about. I just finished up a hip hop project with Soraya, Nicole, and Eli Capella, who are two amazing local hip hop artists. And next month I have a release coming out with Phil Gore, who's an old-time Philly DJ and producer, and we're featuring my friend Danielle Lichter on vocals, so we're really excited about that. And it's kind of like a darker techno track.
Cool,
so
cool.
Kind of all over the map.
Now, does your creative process vary with all these different creatives? Are you normally trying to meet people where they need to be met at, or do you have a sort of a flow that you typically operate in when you're working with other artists?
It really varies depending who I'm working with and how much stake they want in the project. Usually I have a song complete and I have a lyricist I work really closely with, and we hand a finished instrumental and a set of lyrics to a vocalist, and they make some changes and alterations, and we work together to make sure it works for them. But they're not really terribly active in the compositional process.
Like what is it that attracts you to an artist to reach out to them?
I do actively, intentionally seek out people from different backgrounds and demographics from all over. You know, like I want people to bring their own history and story and culture and demographic to a song. So like I go out of my way to find people from all sorts of different backgrounds and with different stories to do music with, because I think it's really healthy, not just for the music, but for the community. I think that's really important.
It is. And that's definitely what a lot of this is about. Like local love is definitely about kind of connecting the dots between the range of creatives here in Philadelphia. So again, thank you for being here. Which reminds me, the first time we met wasn't our friends.
Not one of your full moon
it's
parties.
when you came to one of my full moon parties, and I was like suspect of you because I didn't know you.
Oh yeah, you thought I was there to bust the party.
I was like, who is this guy who's kind of like cruising around? But then later getting to know you, it's dope because again, you are somebody, you know, this is something that I respect out of certain people who are willing to go and be curious. You're curious enough to seek out different experiences even by yourself. And I feel like there's, you know, only a small number of people who kind of live and think that way.
Pretty cool.
So I guess last serious question, which is I'd like to ask people, and it's like, you know, you're talking about Philadelphia being on the come up and we're being here in this prime time. How do you see yourself contributing to the story of Philadelphia now? And how do you see that possibly changing in the future?
Well, I sit in with a lot of different bands around Philly, which I love, and like I love performing live with bands. And I think sitting in with a variety of bands keeps me sharp as a musician and keeps ideas fresh. All these bands have different styles and keep me kind of out of my comfort zone at all times, because I think that's really good for a musician to do. And then personally, with my own music writing and production, like I kind of mentioned earlier, I'm always pretty aggressively trying to seek out new and different people to work on music with, because they all bring something really new to the story. They all have something great to say artistically, and I love as a writer and producer to create the skeleton of a track and then make it a platform for a songwriter to tell their story from, like to get passionate about something they're really excited about. And I love drawing musicians in from different scenes and intersecting them on songs, and cross-pollinating different scenes and slamming people together and having them work together. I think it really increases the integrity of not just my music, but the local community. I think that's really important. And I personally wish there was more cross-pollination and collision amongst scenes. So I kind of try and facilitate that in the music I write. And I have a hit list of a mile long of all the musicians I want to pull in and get on my music. And I'm sure there are 100 other people who I haven't met yet who are amazing all over the city. So I hope to just continue advancing my own skill and finding new incredible musicians of escalating skill to pull into my music and try and create some fusion between scenes.
Nice, nice. All right, well, again, Keegan, thank you for being here, sharing some time with us, sharing your insight and things you do here in Philadelphia. I respect and appreciate you as a fellow artist, citizen of Philadelphia, and yeah, man, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.